YouTube, welcome back to another. Oh, wait. To another episode of Higurashi. Last time we kind of shifted to the Natsumi and Friends POV, where Natsumi's trying her new hairstyle and everyone's loving it, though it does seem a little bit of a anti-bun propaganda, but we'll take it honestly. Okay. But yeah, I just decided to continue on. I believe Chisato was gonna help make a game plan with Akira to win Natsumi now that everyone's thirsting after her, you know. So let's see what they got in mind. Obviously, I don't really think it's a problem for Akira, but you know, the competition's got him on his toes now, so can't be too cautious. Don't get too cocky, kid. Akira let out a deep sigh while gazing at the white canvas on the easel. He didn't know how many times he sighed since coming to the art room. He was planning to start painting summer-themed pictures today, but he just couldn't think of a good motif for the picture. Or rather, there's no way anything could come to mind. Akira's mind was filled with thoughts completely unrelated to painting, but he was on the verge of making a big decision. He clung to his head, suffering from regret and self-loathing. Seriously, there's so much momentum to the scene. During lunch break, Chisato and Tamako took Akira out to the roof where they told him to confess right away in a nearly threatening tone. Okay, that is not the game plan I thought they were talking about. I thought there would be a bit more tactic, or just tact to it than just like say it. And it'll probably work, but still. And offer their cooperation in the most pushy way possible. Even Tamako, huh? Thought she would have more tact.
ちょっと待って、俺そんなつもりは。
すごかったよ、休み時間。授業終わると何人かの男子、わからないところがあるとかなんとか言って接点持とうと夏美に話しかけてきたりしてさ。今までこんなこと全然なかったのに。
And you know they're lying because I mean, Natsumi's decent at schoolwork, but it's not someone you asked. Though apparently she's way better at schoolwork in this fragment than in the past, so. If I remember correctly. Akira imagined the scene in his head without even questioning if Chisato's story was true. A classmate openly starting a light conversation, and Natsumi responding with a smile. It was an opportunity that someone from another class like him would never have. Classroom buff. I just shared classroom buff. Although Chisato and Tamako both recognized that Akira probably wouldn't be able to do that even if they were in the same class.
まあ、正直夏美は戸惑った感じで応対してたけどね。今後も続いたら、あの嫌って言えない性格を勘違いするバカも出てくるかもしれないな。
勘違い?
Yeah, like she's just stringing them along, but she's not denying, so.
自分に好意があるんじゃないかってね。アキラちゃん、このままだと先を越されちゃうよ。
それは。
大丈夫、自信を持ちなって。夏美は間違いなくあんたに好意を持ってるからさ。今のところはね。
For now. Akira quietly lamented how Chisato's support was always followed up with a gut punch. If she would just leave out those last few words, she'd be a pretty great person. Not a great person, just a pretty one. Pretty great one. I mean, pretty also, but pretty great. Okay, I messed up the joke. Sorry.
あのさ、私たちだってどうでもいいやつにこんなこと焚きつけたりはしないって。 幼なじみのよしみで最大限気を回してやってるの。言っとくけど、これマジだよ。
それにアキラちゃん、ずっと前から夏美のこと好きなんでしょ？正直になっちゃいなよ。後から来た誰かにあの子かっさらわれてもいいの？
俺
I'm not worried at all, but, you know, in theory, I guess he should be on his toes. He suddenly looked up at the ceiling. Without even closing his eyes, a vision of Natsumi's embarrassed smile from earlier this morning came to mind.
可愛かったよな、本当に。
Rather than simply falling in love, it'd be right to say he was moved just by how lovely she was. That's right. He admitted it. When asked whether or not he liked her, he definitely did. But it wasn't just some casual thought because she was cute. It wasn't just because she got along so well with Chisato and Tamato. It was more than that. Actor was attracted to Natsumi for stronger, deeper reasons. It's her voice. He likes the voice acting like me. He was drawing an ordinary landscape painting depicting the scene outside the store window. He wasn't planning to submit this illustration anywhere. At first, it was nothing more than a distraction, but he really took a liking to it as he worked in his brush and became fully immersed in it, creating a work for his own sake in the truest sense. So much that even Actor himself thought it was the ultimate in self-indulgence and a bit masochistic. So after he finished the painting, he hung it on the wall in the corner of the art room, but it just sat there gathering dust, with no one paying it any real attention. But that moment...
こんなに素敵な絵、初めて見た。
Damn.
え？
Instant fan. Okay, I mean, I was kind of misremembering her hairstyle, but it's like that combination. It's like buns curled up with a little like loose ends, you know? It's not the full bun, so it's like extra messy buns. It's so good though. No hating. It was the transfer student who Chisato was escorting to the art room for the first time, Natsumi Kimiyoshi. She looked up at the picture Chisato was pointing at while saying, Atra drew that, then suddenly let out a sigh.
すごいな。こんなすごい絵を私と同じ年の人が描けるなんて。これってここの窓から見た外の景色を描いた絵だよね。
あ、うん。
うまく言えないけど、空の青さと遠くの夕焼けの赤との対比がとても綺麗。実際に目で見るよりもずっとあったかくて優しくて
Color enhancement.
幸せな感じ。
まあ、
Just as he began to speak up, a line of tears streaked down Natsumi's face as she gazed forward. Bro, she is really feeling that picture. I thought he was crying because he was happy someone was complimenting his work. Nah, she's crying because it's so beautiful. Holy. Atro was timidly listening to her impressions, but he was surprised when he noticed that reaction.
よくわかんないけど。
Sorry.
ごめん。
違うの。
It's so bad that she started crying.
私、絵を見てこんなにジーンとしちゃったの初めてだったから。
Atra lost his voice as soon as he heard Natsumi say that. He had been praised countless times before. People told him his work was beautiful. But for someone to be moved to tears, Never before had someone looked at one of his pictures and taken it so deeply to heart.
私、美術ってよくわからないし、絵も全然下手だから偉そうなこと言えないけど。だって、こんなに綺麗で優しい夕焼けの空、今までに見たことないから。
He was delighted. He was thrilled that a girl he was slightly acquainted with, who was roughly the same age as him, was willing to go so far to praise one of his paintings. He had plenty of friends and acquaintances who were proud of him for winning prizes. But Natsumi was the first one to show such a simple and sincere reaction to seeing one of his paintings.
私、竹内に来てよかったな。
She loves it. I mean, I guess she's always loved it here.
だって、こんなに絵を描く人からも素敵に見える街なら、きっと住んでいる人も素敵なんだろうなって予感を信じられるから。
I mean, that's not how it works, but I'm happy for you.
予感なんかじゃない。だって、引っ越して間もない私なのに、こんなにも素敵な友達がすぐにできたのが、その証拠だもん。私、引っ越してきた時からこの街が好きになった。でもきっと、これからはもっともっと好きになれると思う。変な言い方だけど、この絵を見ていると、そう信じる勇気が湧いてくるような。
Bro, they should show this picture, man. They are hyping it up.
ありがとう。
Shows picture, it's just the goofiest picture you've ever seen.
そんなに気に入ってもらえると、描いてよかったと思えるよ。
And Natsumi said it was good to the point that the sunset sky moved her to tears. In truth, that sunset was the part Akira fretted the most while drawing that painting. That's why he instinctively broke out into an impassioned speech that left Chisato, Tamato, and even himself surprised at how talkative he became.
この色出すのに苦労したんだ。不気味な赤じゃない。もっと鮮やかで命の息吹っていうか、希望を見出すような感じにしたくて、それで。へ
え、そうなんだ。
君吉さん、また新しいのを描いたら見てもらってもいいかな。
Rizzing? First attempt at rizzing up? We take that. The rest of the precise moment, that was the precise moment when Akira became completely fascinated by the girl named Natsumi Kimiyoshi. He realized that now. And even nearly a year later, his feelings hadn't faded at all. In fact, they've grown even stronger. It's time to shoot your shot. It's been a year cultivating. There are other nice girls. Cute girls weren't all that uncommon either. But she was a particularly special girl.
いい子だよ、夏美は。
Even though Chisato was always playful and full of smiles, when Akira asked her what kind of girl Natsumi was, she gave him a completely serious and straightforward answer. At first, he didn't understand the meaning of that simple assessment, but now he knew. She really was a good girl. She cared deeply for others and tried her hardest to understand them. She was a girl you could easily talk to anytime, anywhere. It must have been her kind personality that made him feel that way.
東堂くん?
Oh, well, might be time. Time to shoot your shot. Just then, a voice called out from the entrance of the art room, so Akira stood up straight and looked back. Natsumi cautiously stepped inside, likely here because Chisato and Tamato told her to come.
ごめん、呼び出して。ここすぐ分かった。
Yeah, it's not like she's been here before, dude.
え、
year. It's not like she's been at the school for a year.
うん。
Look at that, dude. It's still some shock seeing long-haired Natsumi.
もう何回も来てるから。
あ、そうだな。ごめん。
Smooth. Seeing that bitter smile on her face, he immediately felt regret and apologized to her. His sense of time seemed skewed since he was thinking about the day that they met so long ago. Even so, Akira steadied his breathing and encouraged himself, and turned toward Natsumi.
東堂くん。
さ、
Marry me.
君吉。
Imagine though. I mean, they do get married, so. Natsumi quizzically tilted her head to the side while gazing up at Akira. He always thought she was cute. But with her hair flowing like this, combined with the expression on her face, he doesn't... Okay, fine, whatever. She looked several times more charming than usual. So Akira's mind went completely blank, and he froze up.
なんだ。だから、
Despite being irritated by his lack of confidence, Akira tried to inspire himself by searching the corners of his mind for the right words. He had to say it. Bazinga. He had to tell her something. Even if he didn't get a good response, it would be far too sad to let it end without saying anything. True? Yes, he didn't need to tell yes, he didn't need anyone to tell him that. He completely understood that. Push the words out. Natsumi probably knows what's happening too, because he's struggling so much. Still, as the choking air continued flowing between them, his reckless valor slowly diminished. What should he do? Should he say something? In the end, would it be better to say nothing? If she refused his confession right here, would he never be able to talk to her again? Up until now, he always had a reserved space for a gentle smile and cozy demeanor. The fear of losing that all at once was digging deeper into his heart, and his voice wouldn't come out at all, like his throat was completely clogged. But he had to say it. He had to say at least something. Either way, Natsumi was waiting for Akira to say something. What's more, her face gradually shifted away from the earlier dubious expression and started turning red, with her mouth tightly closed and a meat look on her face. Yeah, when you saw this launch, she knows it's gonna be something like that. Perhaps she was starting to guess what Akira was trying to say. But if he tried to dodge the subject or run away here, surely she'd be either shocked or appalled. Yeah, you can't back down now. You took one step in, you can't pull that foot out. You gotta go forward, buddy.
君吉。俺は君吉のことが
Oh my god.
もっと知りたい。
So cheesy. I wanna know more about you. And so he spoke as a potentially new OST drums on. It might not be new, but it's a rarely played one if it isn't new. Akira finally squeezed out the courage to say something.
東堂くん。
知りたいんだ。君吉の好きな本とか、好きな映画とか、どんなやつが好きで、俺みたいなやつはどうなのかとか。
Do you like pink-haired guys like me? It's all natural. It's more like reddish, pinkish.
俺のこと例えば好きになって
Or is it
くれ
just
るのか
pinkish? I don't even
俺
remember.
君吉のことが好きだ
Boom. Shot taken. Does it hit the target? After fighting so hard to squeeze those words out, Akira took a deep breath. He finally said it. At last, he told her. And Natsumi. After listening to Akira's words, she fell silent and gazed down at the floor. What was she thinking about? What was she going to say? I'm sorry? I was so surprised? Thank you? No, that would be far too pretentious. But it might be a discourteous to expect an immediate answer to a sudden confession. Thinking that, he started to call out to Natsumi again and say, you can ask, or you can answer whenever you're ready. But just then, something came from her eyes, hitting behind her veins and fell to the floor. Yeah, she always cries, though.
お
It's a good sign, hopefully. Hold on, she's casting the spell to make her mother love her.
ご
It's actually
Go
needed
on,
because
Kimiyoshi.
her mother's kind of cursed sometimes.
俺その
東堂くん
And then, he started feeling regret, wondering if something he said could have hurt her feelings. Akira was so upset he was about to cry, chain crying. But Natsumi gently grabbed his hand and then spoke up in a faint voice.
私でいいの
You're alright.
私でいいのかな東堂くん
It's so serious, man. It's just a high school relationship. It's like it's not like they're getting married or something. But it kind of feels like that watching this.
君吉
But I love it. You know, I love the melodrama high school stuff from Japan, man. So good. In
夢
any
じゃないよ
form.
ね本当に東堂くんが
Though
私
if
に
this
言って
was
くれ
like
て
a
るんだよ
J drama, they'd probably break up midway through the arc to come back together. Late game. And she said that. Tears were gushing from both Natsumi's eyes. She had a joyous smile on her face from the bottom of her heart.
君吉その
I was just
What?
joking. It was just a dare. Awkward.
私も好き 東
Aw.
堂くんのことが大好きです
Big L word just dropped? Okay. Natsumi taking the initiative, dropping the big L word. Huh? Really? Me? This isn't a dream? She's not lying or joking around? No. He knew she wasn't the sort of person to do that. Yeah, she's not funny. Then...
あの
Is that like a
それじゃ
yes? You said you love me? Is that a yes? Yay! While still crying and smiling, Natsumi nodded to him. In that moment, his dark thoughts and heavy emotions vanished all at once. And they were replaced with, first of all, bewilderment. But also, enough sheer joy to overpower that.
付き合ってくれますか私と
もちろん
Like how it gets flipped onto him. Good job, Natsumi, taking the initiative.
俺絶対
Counter
大切にする
initiative.
君吉のこと誰よりも
ありがと
Well, that's good. Tears keep spilling from Natsumi's eyes. What's it? Bro, she's still crying. They've been spilling a lot right now. As he handed her a handkerchief, Akira vowed to himself that he would remember Natsumi's smile right now for the rest of his life. And then the Higurashi cried, and everyone died.
うまくやってるかな。
Dance tries for the
やってるさ。
confidence boost. Look at Tomato, dude.
私は
I don't know.
何の心配も
It's
して
been so
ない。
long. I don't know. Tomato like look. Both Chisato and Tomato look like pretty plain, but there's something about Tomato's character that just like looks kind of funny, and I like it. And you know, appearances and everything. Chisato's a very funny character. I actually like her a lot. She ranks pretty high in my console art character internal tier list. And I like Tomato's design. Plain done unique. Somehow. I took a drink from the milk coffee I bought at the vending machine while resting my elbow on the rooftop railing. There apparently wasn't much left because the palm-sized paper carton immediately shrunk, and the straw let out a loud slurping sound.
初めて紹介した時から夏美、アキラちゃんを見る目が違ってたもんね。
She's never seen a guy with pink hair.
だ
I'd
け
be
ど自
surprised
信が
too.
なくて、私たちにも言えずにいたって感
She's from
じ
the
だったし。
boonies, man.
気を回しすぎなんだよ。まあそれがあの子のいいところなんだけどさ。
Natsu probably knew that we'd helped her out if she told us, and I think that's why she didn't say anything. If she had confessed her feelings for Atra to us, naturally we'd push her to tell him. But in the off chance that Atra shot her down, it could make things so awkward that he'd never talked with me or Tomato ever again. In the end, her personal love interests could hurt the childhood friendship that the three of us shared. That must have been what she was so worried about. So instead, she did her best to keep her thoughts a secret and didn't even realize we already knew. Her thoughts made her so desperate that she couldn't see what was around her. I completely understand that feeling. But that's okay. That's why I wanted to do my best for her too.
それにしても、アキラちゃんも好きだって考えないのが夏美らしいよね。他のことには気を使いすぎるくらいなのに、自分のことには疎いっていうか。
あとはタイミングの問題だけだったのにさ。
Yeah, just had to push the clock a bit because of her popular arc.
アキラの態度もバレバレだったしね。
But it all would have come together eventually. We know that. Right, we both realized how both of them felt really early on. We knew that both of them were at a complete stalemate, oblivious to each other's feelings. So the reason we kept quiet was...
ねえ千里、本当に良かったの？
It's arcade, man. Chisato can go date that person that works at the tea shop or whatever. They seem like they could have been a good couple. In that one arc, they explored Chisato a bit more. The second
何が？
of the Tomoe Chronicles trilogy.
だから、あんたの気持ち、あんただって本当は。
You win some, you lose some.
これで納得できたよ。
Tomato was checking up on me because she was concerned, but I answered her plainly and completely from the heart.
もともとこれは私のわがままな賭けだったんだ。あの子かアキラのどちらかが自分で相手に告白する。それができたら私は黙って身を引くって。あんたにも以前そう言ったでしょ。
それは聞いた。でも結局今日はアキラちゃんの後押しをしちゃったでしょ。それって最初のルールと変わってるじゃない。
She sent it, man.
だっ
Sometimes
て
you just gotta
さ、
send it.
このまま黙っていたら間違いなく夏美遅かれ早かれクラスの誰かに告られてたでしょ。であの子の性格だときっと断りきれなくて付き合っちゃうのが目に見えてたし。
Would she? I mean, maybe. Yeah, she is kind of shy like that. She's the type who would try to keep smiling happily even if she wasn't going out with Akira. But that's not what Natsumi wants. Setting aside my feelings for Akira, I really did like Natsumi. And above all,
千里？
いやなんでもない。
I can't tell Tomato. I just can't say it. But ever since I learned her secret a little while ago, I truly wanted her to be happy, to smile from the bottom of her heart. I'd do whatever it takes to make Natsumi happy. That's why, even though I've been holding back these feelings for so many years, I'm not sure if you'd call it love, but it felt just so much weaker in comparison.
一体どうしたの？
Jesus.
なんであなた急に？
勝手だと自分でも思うよ。そんなこと分かってるんだ。ただ一つだけ自信がある。私はこの選択を絶対に後悔しない。
Damn, locking in her answer.
夏美にアキラを紹介したこと、二人がうまくいくように今回口出ししたこと、全部ね。私にしては珍しくベストな選択だったと思ってるよ。
Besto. Besto presto.
千里。
Remember when Tamako went on her hater arc in the second of the trilogy? Dude, that shit pissed me off, dude. I was like, Tomato's washed, but she kind of redeemed herself by the end of this. So far, it's only been base Tomato, so I like what I see. Tomato stared at me for a while, but before long, she smiled and relaxed her shoulders. We've been friends for a long time, so I'm sure she was able to recognize it. She asked nothing more and simply nodded to the convey. I understand.
とりあえずこれでゲームセット。まあ大方の予想通り本命が勝って大番狂わせは何も起こらず終了。
That's kind of jinxing it, but
それでいいんだよ。
そうね。落ち着くところに落ち着いて、結局これでよかったのよね。
ごめんね、タマコ。
I submissively bowed my head. First of all, she was in the hardest position in this situation. She was aware of how both of us felt, so she couldn't do anything to support Natsumi. Someone who didn't know the circumstances might consider her a cold person, but it's actually the opposite. She must have hated herself for being unable to do anything for Natsumi. But that's all over now. Finally, it's all in the past.
あの子が以前私たちのこと本当に大好きだって。
覚えてるよ。千里ちゃん、たまこちゃん、ちょっと話聞いてくれる？
Flashback. After school one day, we were eating crepes in front of the station and chatting about nonsense like usual. But all of a sudden, Natsumi turned toward us and said that.
どうしたの、夏美。なんかあった？
Her mouth was shut tight, like she was deeply thinking about something. The fresh cream in the crepe she held in both hands melted and spilled down on the ground.
夏美？
Just fully dialed in right now. And while she continued looking lost in thought, I pulled a tissue out of my pocket to wipe her dirty hands. But just then, Natsumi raised her head and looked straight at us.
今さら変なこと言うけど、 ごめんね。私、本当に二人には感謝してるの。田舎から出てきた私に、とっても優しくしてくれたり、
They've been
気を
homies.
使ってくれたりして、今日もこうやっていろんなところに連れて行ってくれて、楽しいお話をしてくれる。
そんなの
Obvious, you're our friend. I smiled and started to say that, but as soon as I saw the serious look on Natsumi's face, I held it down. I could tell right away this was no time for flippant remarks.
だけど、私、二人のために何にもできていない。話にもうまくついていけないし、楽しい場所や面白い話題も教わるだけで、私からは何も二人に教えてあげられない。それが私、申し訳なくて、ずっと。
夏美
Tamato seemed a bit confused and turned towards me. I probably had the same look on my face. There's no need for her to worry about that at all. It's not like hanging out with Natsumi is volunteer work. It's fun to chat and play with her, so we just do it. But somehow I understood. The reason Natsumi is worried is because she feels out of place around us. And that was causing her to develop an inferiority complex.
ああ、そういえば
When I looked at Natsumi's face, I suddenly remembered. She was sitting around looking dejected like this on the first day she transferred here. She didn't know anybody in the class back then, and she seemed lonely. She didn't have any courage to talk to anyone. She seemed like a frightened little animal. It was nothing strange or special. Anyone would feel that way after being thrown into a strange new place on their own. And that out-of-place feeling gradually twists into discomfort, then to loneliness. To the point where you feel inferior and wonder if you should even be there.
だからといって
If you keep living in that atmosphere, you'll also hesitate about how to interact with others. It takes courage to speak up. It was the same way for us in the beginning. Normally, I wouldn't want to get involved, but for some reason, I wanted to break that vicious cycle, so I decided to try a little harder and talk to her. I didn't take it that seriously at first, figuring that act was a trigger for a kindred spirit to reach out to her and get along. But it far exceeded my expectations.
君よさんあなたナイスキャラ
Looks pissed off. What the fuck you call me? I'm not a nice girl. I'm a bad girl. I wasn't making fun of her, nor was I looking down on her. I just found that slightly off-kilter yet passionate reaction really refreshing and amusing. And that brought to mind memories of my beloved little sister. She was so similar to Kaori.
ごめんなさい、いきなり笑っちゃって。
Yeah, that whole sister backstory was really intense. That was
それ
really
はとも
good.
かく、困ったことがあったら何でも言ってね。私たち力になるから。え？でも。
遠慮しないでよ私たちこれから友達なんだからさ仲良くやっていこうよね
Uncertain. Since then, I've been getting along and talking with Natsumi and started taking her all sorts of places, like today. Anytime she was confused about things in class or how to deal with our teacher, I'd explain it in a funny way, doing my best to reduce the tension. I told her about food and fashion, about what sort of things are popular in the city. acting as a sort of intermediary out of consideration. She recently mentioned wanting to buy an anniversary gift for her parents, so I even helped her get a part-time job. Somehow, I had assumed the guardian role for Natsumi. I felt like a parent, but at first Tomato apparently thought that behavior was unexpected.
あんたっていっつもバカやって大騒ぎするけど、私とアキラちゃん以外の子に構うってことあんまりなかったよね。それが一体どうしたの？
まあ、なんとなくね。
Honestly, there's no deep reason behind it. She did give off a very similar vibe to Tayori, so that probably encouraged me a bit. She's a little shy, but she's really honest, and her reactions when I tease her are always fun. Listening to us intently and thinking so seriously, doing her best to respond to us. The more time I spent with Natsumi, the more and more I started to like her. Some say that the friendship between girls are paper thin, but when it comes to her, I can confidently puff my chest out and say that's not the case. So...
ねえ、夏美？私だってあんたに感謝してるよ。私のわがままにいつも付き合ってくれてさ。
Mutual exchange. While finally remembering those days, I gently grabbed Natsumi's hand, wiped it clean with the tissue, and I tried to look at her with a smile that conveyed I was being completely serious instead of joking around like usual.
千里ちゃん。
私ってほら、結構というかかなり思い込み激しくて、自分がいいなって思ったことを相手の気持ち考えずに口走ったり、タマコにも時々そのことでよく注意されるくらいだし。
True.
そうね。それは否定しないわ。
Tomato shrugged her shoulders with a bitter smile on her face, while rolling up her empty crepe wrapper, and in a hushed tone she said to me while we're at it.
おまけに秋っぽくて勢い任せ。そんなわがままな暴走癖のある子だから、千里って今まであまり特定の誰かに構うことがなかったの。
Damn.
あるいは相手がうんざりして向こうから離れていくとかかな。だから私、夏美を仲間に入れて連れ回そうとこの子が言い出した時はちょっと驚いたのよ。どんな気の迷いだってね。
そうなの？
Natsumi's eyes opened wide as she lightly tilted her head. Perhaps up until now, she thought we were particularly considerate people, even amongst her classmates. But Tomato aside, I wasn't an especially benevolent person. If anything, even I was well aware that I had a strong tendency to avoid troublesome things. In that sense, Natsumi was something special to me.
でも最近その理由が分かったような気がする。夏美は多分自分では気づいていないと思うけど、あなたってとってもいい子なのよ。どんなに違う価値観でも苦手なことでもなんとか自分に合わせよう、理解しようとしてくれる。時には勘違いで私たちの求めるものとは多少ずれていることもあるけど、一生懸命答えようとし、それってやっぱり嬉しいんだよね。
Yeah, she's cool. TLDR, she's cool.
嬉しい。
My book.
そう。確かに、なんでこんなこと知らないんだと思う時もあるけど、それって私たちにとっては当然でも、夏美にとってはそうでないことなんだよね。それでも夏美はまず私たちの気持ちを考えて受け止めて理解しようとしてくれる。今も私たちの友達としてどうしたらいいのかって真剣に考えてくれている。 だから私たちだってそういうあなたにありがとう。
たまこちゃん。
Mato
ただ
being
そう
based
言われ
as
てみれ
usual.
ば、あんたをそんな風に悩ませてたってことに私は気づいてなかった。調子に乗ってあんたに甘えすぎて、ひょっとしたら我慢をさせちゃうこともあったかもしれない。ごめんね。
そんなこと。私の方がずっと二人に甘えていっぱい気を使ってもらってた。なのに私は。
Natsume once again began looking apologetic, and she rushed to blame herself that I was saying something outrageous with my self-reflective comments. Honestly, it really is just as Tomato said, she's such a good girl,
ああ、
but
違う。そういう意味じゃないよ。あんたも思ったこと、感じたことを素直にぶつけてもいいんだよって、そう言いたかったんだ。だってそうじゃなきゃ私ばっかりいい思いしてすごく不公平でしょ。
不公平？
うん、不公平だよ。
friendship is about looking onto one another, or looking out for one another, not thinking about how you repay favors. Even so, an excess of kindness that's not in line with your friend's values, circumstances, or intentions should definitely make you feel inferior. Instead, I heard something like that before. It's true that I've done all sorts of things to take care of Natsume and look out for her as a friend. But if she believed that those thoughts were coming from a sense of superiority or arrogance, she might feel confused and overwhelmed. The important thing is to understand how the other person feels, and the best way to do that is to talk openly with one another and share your
も
opinions.
っとも
Yep, classic Higurashi message, always talk to your friends about your problems. If anything, I'm grateful Natsume said it herself. If she hadn't, being the dimwit I am, I would have never realized that I was hurting my best friend.
だからこれからは行き過ぎって感じたらはっきり言ってほしいな。
Yep, like when she said mint chocolate chip is for old people. That's
それが
clear.
遠慮なのか
That
本
shit's
当に
good,
嫌な
no
のかの
matter
区
how
別は
mainstream it
ま
is.
だうまくできないかもしれない。でもあんたの期待に少しは応えられるよう頑張ってみるからさ。
千里ちゃん。でも二人にそんな。
いいのよ。私たちも夏美の優しい気持ち今の言葉でよくわかったから。だから今度は私たちもあなた自身の都合と価値観確かに最初はあなたがそうだったように何度か戸惑ったりするかもしれない。だけど私もあなたのように受け止めて理解できる。
たまこちゃん。
だから私だけでもあんただけでもない3人で共通したルールを作ってこうよ。お互いにとって居心地のいい世界のためにね。
Yeah, okay.
それで盛大に迷惑をかけ合って持ちつ持たれつで楽しくやっていきたいんだ。だって私たち友達なんだからさ。
That's right. Friendship isn't about just doing things for your convenience or imposing your will on others. It's a relationship where you have fun together and make each other happy. That's friendship. You can share your worries, there's no need to hesitate. Because it's not about repaying anything, it's about offering kindness and support without reservation. By doing that, you're not alone. Because that trust and peace of mind allow us all to achieve great happiness. Greater happiness.
千里ちゃん。たまこちゃん。
これからもお互い嫌なことがあったら何でも相談し合おうよ。お互いの行き過ぎとか間違いとかも思い切って言い合おう。そりゃちょっといい気分しないこともあるかもしれないけど、やっぱり言ってもらえる存在は貴重なんだって私は信じる。そうやっていけば私たちもっともっと仲良くなれる気がするよ。
そうそう。 まあもしこいつに直接言いにくい時は私をうまく使ってくれればいいから。
Don't worry, we won't forget about Tomato
夏
here
美が
in
伝
this
えるよりも
household.
より効果的に、そしてより致命的に反省させてやるからね。
ちょっとタマさんや、なんで私がミスること前提で話をしてるんだ？
It's a fair assumption.
お互いにって言ったでしょ。
だって事実だから。
なんだと、この美味しいとこ取りやろ
ありがとう二人とも。私二人のこと大好き。
The L word. Looking at it from the outside, it must have been a very naive, very embarrassing sight. However, at the time it felt like we were truly understood each other as friends. Yay. We've had some arguments since then, and even if you couldn't call them outright fights, there were certainly times where we had conflicts of opinion that ended up causing issues. But every time, we talk it over, discuss our feelings, apologize, and forgive each other. We have a strong, firm bond like childhood friends.
好きだなんて面と向かって言われたの、実は初めてでさ。
Nice.
すごく照れくさくてむずがゆくて、
Unsettling.
でも
Excuse me?
嬉しかったんだ。
千里。
だから私はそう言ってくれたあの子の幸せのためなら心の底から真摯に努力ができる。出会った頃は確かに香りの代わりみたいな気持ちだった。
Yeah. But she's
でも
grown.
今は違う。あの子は私の友達、大切な親友なんだ。
Wonder, like, if any at all, are they gonna somehow affect Hinamizawa? Like, obviously you can see Tomoe, but like, what are these guys gonna do?
あんたの気持
I
ちは
wanna
わ
see
かんな
them
いけ
though,
ど、
though. I think that'd be
間
funny.
違いなく私はそう思ってる。
おいこら、私を差し置いて盛り上がるな。
Yeah, I'm not the old tomato, I'm reformed.
私だって同じ気持ちだっての。
We smiled at each other. Honestly, it really is a blessing to be able to share in the happiness of others. And it's great to be in a relationship where you can enjoy those naive feelings without any shame. Just then,
Huh?
Natsumi. The rooftop door swung open and Natsumi emerged. Her eyes were moist, but her expression was filled to the brim with happiness. The moment I saw that, I knew that I had made the right choice. Aww. Once again, my heart was completely convinced of that. Let's go. Natsumi dub. Relationship started. Good backstory. Oh, love. It really is refreshing seeing this gained again, you know? I didn't think we'd see them again, but give them a little final send-off even if they don't have a huge part in the story, which they might. I don't know. No.
ちょっと遅くなっちゃったな。
Tomoe POV. Anyways, guys, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for watching as always, and next time we're back to Tomoe POV. It's been fun, but now back to our goated female detective. Kind of. She's not a detective anymore, but she used to be. Anyways, until then, later. Actually, I guess she still would be a detective at this point, unless she already transferred now. I don't remember if they mentioned that. But whatever, later.